Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Lauren. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching. Sad news, guys. I can't put my hair up in a bun anymore. It's too short. This happens every time I cut my hair like about this length, and I'm like, no, I want to cut it because then I can wear it down. And then I realize when I do that, then there's no possibility of wearing it up. And then I have to go through this whole thing of like, oh my gosh, styling my hair down every single time. So we're trying a center-ish part. I'm not sure how I feel. It's like a little boyish, but in a way I like. I don't know, I'm kind of into it. Anyway, enough about the hair. That's not why we're here today. Today we are here to talk about mini palettes that are tempting me so much. I have just fallen more and more in love with quads, 6-pan palettes. I'm sure there's a more proper name for them, but I'm gonna call them 6-pan palettes. Quints also, any of those kind of like 6 or under, honestly, just a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot of shades, and I just feel like there have been some good ones out there on top of I'm just into it. You guys have seen me over this last like 6 months, I guess I'd say. I have like a ton of these Natasha Denona pans. Love these, okay? I've talked your ear off about my Rowan quads. Love these. I more recently picked up this ColourPop quad. Really nice, really enjoy it. And then the one that's probably gotten the most use from me is the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize. Really happy with that. It's been making my life really easy in the morning when I have to go and I need to look put together and I need something to wear and I don't have a lot of time to think. It's so perfect. And there are just a lot on the market right now, a lot of little mini quads. And so I thought we could talk about them. Of course, we just love to do that here. So I want to talk to you about the reasons why these are tempting me, why I like them, textures, blah, 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 all the things. And although at some point, maybe I will buy these, maybe it'll be sooner, maybe it'll be later, maybe I'll buy one, maybe I'll buy 5 of them, I don't know. But I thought, you know, let's go through the singles. Let's see what we have, maybe create something that's just as juicy and enticing and exciting that I already have in my collection, see if I can kind of fend off some of that desire to buy at least for a little bit, and maybe the feeling will pass. So that's what this video is about. I will have timestamps down below so you can go where you want to go. I did film this eye look with one of my palettes that I created, so stay tuned for that at the end. But let's just get into the palettes that I'm excited about and I'll let you know why. All right, first palette on my list to talk about is from Makeup by Mario. This is the Glam Eyeshadow Quad, and these are actually on sale right now, so that is like this extra layer of temptation. I'm not gonna lie, because I haven't tried any of the eyeshadows from Makeup by Mario and I would love to, I would. So there are 3 different quads that are available. One is the Party Glam, which is a bit more colorful. It's like some blues, kind of a chartreusey golden green, and like a silver. Then there's like a warmer kind of, you know, orangey gold quad. And then the one that I'm the most interested in is Rosy Glam, and this one has like a purple, but there's still some warmth with the brown and even that kind of pink in there. Honestly, they all are really beautiful. I think all of them are really pretty and I'm into them. I love the price point, obviously at that discounted rate at 15 bucks. I think this might be one of the things that I end up buying. So this one is like kind of higher on the list if we were to rank them in like the actual temptation, the actual likelihood I would purchase. These are higher up there, but just so pretty. I think the textures are going to be pretty nice and I want to try out and explore a new brand and like a new thing I haven't before, and that's definitely one of the allures there. Next is one that like kind of just won't get off my brain. Like it's living there rent-free, hanging out. Like I've tried to kick it out and it won't leave. This is from Pat McGrath and it's the Celestial Divinity eyeshadow palette, and this one is the quad in Interstellar Icon. This came out last holiday. I duped this last holiday, like made my own little palette, and yet we're here talking about it still. I still like it. I still think it's so pretty. There's something about that blue mixed with that kind of, I don't know, aubergine, like kind of reddy, winey burgundy color. I just can't stand. My brain just like literally is shaking around in my head. I love it so much. It's also so up my alley even more than before because it is, you know, there's that blue, but it's overall pretty neutral, and so I love that. I love it. Looking at those swatches, I gotta stop myself. So pretty, but every time I think I wanna do it, the price point stops me. That is $58 is just a lot, and you guys mentioned in my Pat McGrath video where I was showing you guys the Celestial Odyssey, the new like bigger pan palette that came out this year. You guys let me know that they haven't had like the Blitz Astral shades in the quad, so even this one, although they might be pretty shades, they're not quite that flaky Blitz Astral, so that's another thing that's kind of holding me off. I'm like hoping one of those will come out soon. Anyway, still on my list. I still love it. I still think it's so pretty. Probably could have been a good buy even if I bought it a year ago, but we're still holding out and hoping we can get over it. Okay, next, these are some mini palettes from NARS. There's actually quite a few things from NARS that I'm interested in. So the one that I really like in the mini voyeur palette is the one in quartz. There's something about this. Like, I know me only 2 years ago would have looked at this and been like, this is the most boring shit I've ever seen. I would be like, ugh, so boring. I hate this. Oh my gosh, all the tones look kind of maybe even muddy. But right now, talking to you, I'm like, that is so pretty. That looks so divine. I love that. It's all shimmers, I think, in this palette. And there's something kind of grungy. I think probably like where we're in fall right now, like that's definitely making me like it a little bit more as well. So I really like this. 32 bucks. I don't think the price point is that bad, you know, for higher end. Definitely easier to swallow than like 58 for 4 shades. I could do 32 for 6. Makes it seem like it's a deal. The other stuff from NARS, that Climax palette that just came out, I think for holiday. I don't know why I want this, but it is kind of tempting. It's a little bit bigger at 9 shades, so it's not like a proper mini, but still like the size of this is quite compact for being 9 shades. And I think I've just seen a lot of people talking about this and using it. And again, we're in fall and these have colors in it. Like there's like a smoky green, a smoky blue, but it's like subdued and I don't know. I'm just like sitting here like, I kind of want it. I don't know what that one's like kind of weird. That one I definitely don't think I'm gonna get, but I'm very tempted by it for some reason. And then the last thing from NARS that I'm really interested in getting, this would actually, if I purchased it, be a repurchase for me because I had this duo at one point, but this is the Kalahari eyeshadow duo. I had this and I enjoyed it and then eventually moved it into my makeup kit and then I had it for a while in there and then felt like it was getting kind of old, so I got rid of it. But I just think these colors are like, I would use these every day, 2 shades, done. Use my highlighter for highlighting, boom. So pretty. I already know I've had these. I know how pretty they are. So that's definitely on my list. These kind of like grungy taupey purples that aren't like all the way gray or too cool tone. They still have that like bit of purple are really what I've been craving right now. I feel like that's kind of what's happening in this Charlotte Tilbury palette, like these two. And right now, maybe I'm duping essentially what the Kalahari duo is, but those have definitely been very tempting, very seductive to me lately. I've just been really gravitating to those types of colors. So definitely thinking about that. And it's on sale right now too. I'm sure they're phasing them out, which makes me kind of sad. And also like, maybe I should get on that if I want it, but definitely love that little duo and wouldn't mind having it back in my collection. Very tempting. All right, next from Natasha Denona, her little 5 pans. I just showed you I have 4 right now. And I was like saying, oh, I'm done. I don't need any more. But this mini Love palette, I mean, what is up with the Love palette? I was so easy to write all that shit off. When the original Love palette came out, write it off. I don't want that. When the mini came out, I think earlier this year, easy to write off. And now here I am in October 2021 wanting this thing. I'm looking at it like, hey, you're cute. I like you. I like you. Maybe I do actually like you. Seems very versatile. The colors in here, you have that deep shade, but then you have all these other, like I just see all the looks I could do. I see them in my head. They play over and over in my head. I'm tempted by this one, okay? This one also seems like one like, it might be coming home at some point. We'll see. We'll see, you know? The other one from Natasha Denona is the new one, and this is the Mini Metropolis palette. I feel like out of the Mini Love and the Mini Metropolis, I'm definitely way more tempted by the Mini Love than I am by this one. I think probably because I just got the gold palette, and so I have similar shades. Like this looks like a mini gold to me, very similar. Like this is like what I would want the mini gold that wasn't what the mini gold was to be. What? You know what I mean? And it comes with a little brush, a little extra added value there. So that's definitely kind of there, but I don't need that immediately, but I'm not gonna lie, like if I were just mindlessly like, ooh, new thing, kind of cute, add to cart, buy. Like that could have been that. That easily could have been that, but you know, trying to be better. Trying to always be better. So those are some Natasha Denona palettes. There's also, this is like the most expensive one out of the bunch, guys. Tom Ford. This is the Soleil Neige Eye Color Quad eyeshadow palette. It's in the shade Naked Pink. This is kind of that taupey, pinky, purpley kind of color. It's very light, and there's a part of me that's like, again, kind of boring, kind of neutral, like blah, blah, blah. But I feel like sometimes for me, these types of shadows that seem kind of like nothing or seem kind of like non-exciting, not a big deal, are the ones I reach for. So I think that although this is really expensive. It could be a really big staple that I do use a lot if I were to spend the money. I don't need it, but I've also never tried anything Tom Ford makeup wise, so I'm kind of like, maybe you're the one for me. Maybe we're meant to be together forever. So that's on my list. That one's also on my list. Okay, continuing on and kind of in the same vein as the Tom Ford, the Charlotte Tilbury Luxury Eyeshadow Palette of Pearls. It's like the one that came out for holiday. It has like the really beautiful outer packaging that is also sucking me in. I am not gonna lie. Like how much I've been using the Exaggerize and then the packaging of that one, I'm like, it's worth, I'm gonna get that one. I want it, it's so pretty. I know it's boring, but it's also something that I think I would use a lot. So I'm kind of like, maybe that's a good quad for me. I know she has like a lot of other quads you could choose from, but this one is getting me. I'm not gonna lie, it's getting me. The last one that's at Sephora, this is from Violet Voss, and this mini Care Bears eyeshadow palette, I kind of want this. It's small, it's compact. I think it's cute. I do like the Violet Voss formula. I'm into it. It's $18. That one's so cute. It's really colorful and maybe like more springtime, but there's something about this. This one had like this kind of growing momentum on me. I didn't initially want it, and now like over time I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? I like that. Last couple of palettes, some little mini palettes from Lorac. I'm like, these are my neutral palettes of my dreams, these little 6-pans. Specifically, the Mystic Oak palette. You guys, it is so pretty. It's cooler, it's deep, it's kind of grungy. I am so into it. It says it's out of stock. I don't know if this has launched yet or if it's just kind of like pre-showing it or what, but $15. First off, price point on point. I really like the price, and I think that the color story is really pretty. I'm into this. I really want it. I really want that. There's some other ones from Lorac though too, and also there's this like forest palette that's coming out. Let me find it. I'm telling you. There's this mini palette in the color Sparkling that's beautiful. There's one in Simmering that's beautiful. There's just a lot. Frosted Sequoia looks absolutely stunning. Winter Rose looks pretty, and then there's this new palette that's gonna come out. This is bigger, but I thought I would just, you know, sprinkle it in here. This is the Fairy Tale Forest palette, and it's like super like deep and like cool and so pretty. And I'm over here like, wow, Lorac just went and like collected itself in the corner and is like coming back. Or maybe I'm just coming around because they've always kind of stuck to the neutrals, and I'm like, hey, I'm back around the sun, ready to hang out with you again. But ooh, there's something about this palette. I'm like looking at it. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that, because I kind of like it. I know it's just neutrals, guys, I know, but there's something about them that they look so yummy to me now. Okay, and last, the ColourPop Zodiac quads. I am tempted by them. I think that, you know, how much I've really enjoyed this quad. I think the color stories on these are really pretty. I don't really care about getting my specific color for Aquarius. To be honest, that one wasn't really my favorite, but the ones I did really like, I liked the Capricorn one. Seems, again, really workable, wearable, cool tone, nice. I like it. Then I also like the Pisces one. This one has like a bit of a duochrome. The duochrome in it kind of looks like glass bowl, so I know I don't need this, but again, it is sometimes nice to have just everything in one quad. I also don't know how much I'd use the blue, so I really shouldn't buy it, but I do think it's a pretty one. And then the other one I really liked was the Cancer one. I thought the Cancer quad was really pretty as well. Kind of more into those like purples and pinks, and then that deeper shade to really ground everything. I really like them. I mean, I think all the color stories honestly are pretty, but those are the three that I'm like drawn to the most. So I don't know, you guys. I think I've decided that at this point I'm trying to hold off. I mean, Black Friday's around the corner. I don't know what deals are gonna go on there, what else is gonna come out, what other makeup's gonna come out, just because you know how new releases are. So I kind of want to hold off and just, you know, enjoy what I have, enjoy even the quads I have even more. And there's something really satisfying about seeing more dips and dents and like use out of your products. I don't know, I've been enjoying that with this one. Like I've been using it so much that I can see where my brush is going in over and over and kind of seeing some of those little dips. And there's something really comforting about that. Like, oh my gosh, like I love that feeling instead of seeing tons of stuff that's like untouched, you know? So that's why I decided to go through my singles collection and create some yummy color stories and smaller palettes. I tried to keep it to quads, but I can't edit for my life, but I did keep them small. And I thought it was really fun and just kind of reinvigorating and really made me excited to use these. And it's like, use all of these at least once and then see, and then go from there. But yeah, I think I just kind of spoiled one, so sorry about that. Let's just get into building the palettes. All right, hello guys. We are here with my tiny little palette. This can hold like 9 regular size eyeshadows, but since I'm creating quads today, basically, I thought this could be nice because I can put different size shadows and fit them all in here. Anyway, we're gonna get right into creating my own juicy, amazing, delectable quads. I'm really excited about this because I know that I have amazing textures and so many beautiful colors, and I can't wait to just really edit them down, keep them to a quad, and hopefully get some really great use out of them and fend off some of these buying itches that I've been having. So first thing, I kind of want to create, or at least be loosely inspired by, that Love palette from Natasha Denona, the mini one. I think how I'm going to do this video, I'm going to grab this stuff and then show you my picks, and that way I can build a lot of different quads with you guys without it being super long. So I hope you guys won't mind that, but yeah, I'm going to pick out some colors I think will work great. All right, I zoomed this in a little bit. These are the 4 I think I'm gonna go with, but naturally, I can't freaking edit for shit, y'all. I want to add in some of these smaller little ColourPop shadows, so I might end up doing that if I can fit them in here, but let's just swatch out what I have here. First off, some of the things I really liked about that Pan palette is this really pretty cool toned purple. I didn't have anything like that, but I thought that this shade from MAC was close. This is called Ho, and it's just a matte color. Not the best swatch, but I think it'll work well actually for the palette. So I picked that to go in here. I did end up getting 2 mattes to go in this palette. So this one is, I think it's called Love Struck. Let's see. No, this is called First Kiss from Luxie. So it's more of a kind of classic, almost warm pink. So, and by almost, it's definitely a warm pink. But I thought having like a cooler matte and a warmer matte would be nice. And then for a shimmer, I went with this one from JD Glow. I feel like Macaron kind of gets neglected from me. So I thought, you know, there's something kind of interesting about the golden sparkle that's mixed in here. A little bit different, obviously, from the like Love palette. I feel like maybe a silver sparkle would have been better, but for what I have, that kind of works. And then I did want something to deepen this up. This is called Berry Sexy from Luxie, and it is shimmery, but it's one of those ones I think that's gonna add nice depth, and for me and how I use color, I think it'd work nicely. So that's what I put in there. And I definitely have some room here. So maybe I'll add a few extra things in because, you know, I would love to have something maybe a little bit lighter for like everyday looks, or something that can work well with these but maybe is neutral, kind of tying it. So I'm gonna see and pick out a few things to kind of fill the gaps because, again, I suck at editing. Okay, I think these are gonna be my additions to the palette. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so I added something kind of cool but still sparkly. This is called, I think it's Smoke Show. No, this is called Cold Smoke, and it is from Glam Shop. Beautiful, beautiful shadow. Highly recommend this. It's kind of like the powder version of Moon Flesh from that Holika Holika. Very beautiful. Then these are both just from ColourPop palette. So this one's kind of like a rose gold coppery type shade. And then this one is just like a nice burgundy, and it's matte. And I feel like this one's gonna actually give some color though, because I felt like Berry Sexy ended up looking a little bit just like a black or a brown, you know, but this will give some color. So I think that really rounds it out. I'm gonna add these in here. They all fit. So I think there's like room for technically one more, and ideally I would put in some type of like, I don't know, let's see if I have like a small size shadow for like a brow bone. This is just from ColourPop. Oh my gosh, I have no clean fingers, but just from ColourPop, something to put on the brow bone, put on the inner corner. You know, I could easily use my highlighter, but I do think it's kind of a nice addition to just have it all in one palette. But yeah, that's my little mini Love inspired palette. So pretty, a little bit more shades than the actual Love palette, but I'm gonna swatch this out so you can see it and you can tell me what you think. Oh my gosh, gosh, I really like it, you guys. I think we have a lot of different depth to go, and I love that I can go super colorful, super pink, or I can keep it a little bit more neutral. Lots of different color combinations in here, and I love that I'm like including something that I'm not using a ton, the macaron, so that I can hopefully use it, especially if I'm inspired to purchase a color story that has something kind of similar in it. So that is my inspired palette by the Mini Love from Natasha Denona. Really into it. Okay, for my next palette, I don't know if I have anything that's like an exact replica that I'm trying to do, or even you know, inspo, but I want something with some olives and some browns and some of those types of colors. I think just for fall it's really nice, so that's what I'm going to be creating, and I'm going to pick some colors. All right, so I went pretty green. It's kind of an interesting little color story here, I think. I'm excited to play with it. I think this might be the one I do a look with. The first color here as kind of a highlight, an easy shade Chandelier from Clionadh. You guys know this is one of my favorites. It has like this green flip to it, but it also has like a pink, and it's really beautiful. So I thought that was kind of fun for lots of things, I guess. This shade is a newer one, kind of. It's from Shop Miss A, and it's just one of the singles. It's in this really pretty, like, yellowy green color. It's called Exotic. So I thought that as like a pop would be fun. And you guys know that I tend to like lighter, brighter, like even just these two as like all over the lid, pop on the inner corner, you know? I think that would be beautiful. This is from Natasha Denona. It is the color True Gold, and it doesn't really look that gold. There's something really green and kind of like pewtery gold about it. I don't know. It's definitely interesting, and I think is one of those neutral colors that it's like simultaneously super boring, but also not. I don't know. Then I did want to have like an actual nice green matte color in here. This is from Sydney Grace. It's called Wildlife. And I chose this over something with like more green in it. I feel like this blends out and turns kind of gray and keeps its neutrality. And that is something I really wanted from the color in here. So I thought that was a good choice. And then for a green sparkly shade, I decided to go with this one from Clionadh. This is called Corrosion. It is so pretty. I love this color so much. It's like golden and red and green. It's all the things. Oh gosh, I feel like my shadows are like tainting one another, but it's a beautiful like lid color, a little bit more sparkly and deep than some of the other shades in here, so I thought that was good. I did put just like a neutral matte. This is another one from Shop Miss A. It's called Enigma. There's something cool about this kind of gray brown, and I just liked this as an addition as well to like keep some neutrality if I wanted. And then this is the shade Wizard, and this is from Glam Shop. Oh yeah, this is a little bit more of like a blue green, but I thought like mixed with this color, you could get something really pretty and then use that gray in the outer corner. I just really liked it. I really liked all the colors in here, and I thought they worked well together. And I could have added more shades in here, but something about this configuration felt like enough. I was gonna add more like warm browns as well with the olives, but I think I like this. There's lighter day looks I can do, there's nighttime looks, there's glam looks, there's like experimental looks. It has a lot in here, so I'm really happy with this one and kind of what came out of it. And I'll swatch it out for you on my arm. All right, so that is my color story. Really beautiful, like, I think everything just enough goes with each other to make for something that is interesting, yet I feel like as wearable and like useful and functional together as it can be. I don't know. That's how I look at it. I think it's so beautiful. I love the sparkles. I love the mattes that are in here. I'm totally inspired by this. Okay, for my next pick of shadows, I think I want something that's kind of all circling around Watermark. I think this is such a stunning color from JD Glow, so I think I kind of want that to be my anchor point and want to create stuff around it. I know in the past I've used this to dupe out the Pat McGrath palette, which is still like on my mind, but I think I'm going to try to do something, I don't know, maybe it'll look like that, maybe it won't. I'm going to kind of just do my own thing, what I think would work well, and go from there. All right, so I ended up with a lot more than I think can even fit in here. So I'm gonna swatch out Watermark in the center and just kind of see what I like. Some things, I think that these like reddy browns look always so good. So this is just one from ColourPop, but this is gonna add like a lot of depth to my palette. And again, I really love that red color, so I definitely wanna put that in here. I also love like potentially kind of going from there and adding some like purples. So this is from Shine by SD. It's called Never Too Late. And it's kind of this duochrome. It's really beautiful. I don't know if it's right. I have this shade also. This is from Sydney Grace. It's called Red Chameleon. And it's kind of like a, I don't know, beetle shade, you know? I don't know if that's competing too much though too, like not different enough, but this is one, I really wanted to put this in for some reason. This is from like an old Fenty palette and I depotted it. Oh, it's so pretty. I think I'm gonna try to fit that in here because I just like that. And then I love the idea of having this sparkly shade from Clionadh called Glow. It has like a blue shift. I think that would be nice to have in here. I also really liked this color, this kind of like, I don't know, pukey yellow, green, brown. I don't know why I'm like obsessed with having this in here, but I kind of do want it. I also want like some type of neutral lid shade. These are both pretty similar. One's Antiqued from MAC and one is one from Adept. The Adept one definitely has the most shine to it. So I'll probably do that one if I can fit it in here. And then I think I might try to fit this in as like another kind of sparkly fun shade, but it's kind of similar to the Fenty. Okay, I want to add a brown like this, but this just doesn't fit in the palette, so that's why we're gonna have to take it out. But I did end up putting in this one because I thought that these two looked good together. So I wanna find something that's like a lighter neutral brown type color to fit here. If I can find a little mini ColourPop one, I'll put it there, but that's what I think I'm gonna do. Okay, I think this is it. I ended up putting just a small little ColourPop single in here, so I'm going to swatch this out for you guys. All right, so here's the color story. It's a little questionable, but I think kind of interesting. Again, I like that I can like bounce between colors. I liked the idea of maybe these two on top of each other. As far as like mattes go, there's only two, and I feel like the dark brown works with everything, whereas this other brown is a little bit more questionable of a choice, but I kind of like it. I don't know. It's an interesting one. Like definitely still neutral with that blue, but then there are some other things. I don't know. I'm excited by it. I like the textures. It seems cool. All right, for my last one, I thought I would make an even minier palette. I mean, this is 12 shades, but these are all from Lethal. You guys saw me create this if you watched that video. I'll leave that link down below in case you didn't catch it. But I have been like looking at this since I created all these colors specifically to go with each other. I really have been looking at this as like a palette, even though it's made out of singles. And I thought it'd be interesting to try to create a 6-pan, like something a little bit smaller, out of this and see how I like it and play with it that way. So that's what I am going to do. Definitely, like, I just love this color so much. And I also love this. I don't know if I should do like, I don't know what to do. Okay. I think I definitely want those in here. I really love this tone, like with those. Like, how pretty is that? That's like a rosewood, you know? So I think those three together look really great. Like, I'm so tempted to put something like this in, but I try to think in these quads, like space is so important, right? Like, you got to be worth it. And so I really try to only put in things that I couldn't like replicate with a highlighter or something that I would maybe already have, you know? But I love this shade. This is one of like the duochromes from Lethal. This one's called Synth. So I definitely want Synth in there. And then I think I'm just going to pick these two. Like, I know that might be boring. I definitely want this in, because I think it looks so good with that top shade as well. I feel like if I add this, it's so similar to this color, you know, that I don't think we need it. If I'm really trying to be picky, you know, I'm like, I could have something that's actually more purple or lighter purple, like for something kind of fun. Okay. I know I just went on and on about how like, I'm not gonna put this in. I did, I put it in, and I think this is so pretty. It's kind of basic, but I love it, and I'm really excited to actually use this. I think overall this is something that will get a lot of like actual use because it is a little bit, you know, neutral for every day, and that's what I've been using. I've been doing a lot of stuff where I have to be on the go, like I need to look put together, but I gotta get going, and this is the type of stuff I reach for. It's kind of giving me like a version in some universe of the Tourmaline palette from Wayne Goss. I don't know if I'm making that up in my head, but something about it is giving me that. Probably the big square pans. But I'm gonna swatch this baby out and then I'll give you the shade names. Oh yeah, it looks so boring, but I know it's gonna be so good. These are the types of palettes that are hard for me to create because I always wanna like do something more, but in reality, like actually having this shade in here is great for me. And I really like this deeper matte because I feel like it's just neutral enough to go with the neutrals and just has enough purple to kind of work for the other colors as well. So I guess that's gonna be my new little 6-pan I'm gonna work from. I'm excited because I feel like this is kind of the example of singles. Like even though I built that palette from singles, I still can swap them around, move them around, continue to get inspired by them. And that's, you guys know why I love singles. So, okay, let me give you names. All right, the first shade is called Limbo. The matte is Archetype. This beautiful, beautiful rosewood color is called Lithium. This is Synth. This is, which I dug my little scalpula into it. This is Corrosion. And last, this one is called Stargaze. Something a little bit more tame, maybe. I feel like this is something I would get in like those Tom Ford quads, or like I said, that Wayne Goss palette. So I'm excited to play around with this. I will note that I do have a code with Lethal right now through the end of the month that you can save 20% off. So just thought I'd shout that out. I think we're like halfway through the month right now, so that deal will be going away soon, just in case you're interested. But let me show you all of them. All right, so here we are with my mini palettes. I hope that these backgrounds don't distract you. I know that they're not all black, I wish they were, but they're pretty interesting to see all together. I can tell that I am very inspired by like neutrals with some pops, like not full on bright, colorful palette. I think my favorite is still this one. There's something about it that's just like weird, but like absolutely stunning still. You know what I mean? I think this one's my most basic, but I have a feeling will be the one that I use a lot. And then these two I think are just stunning. Like I really love this pink one. This pink one with that, like get out. I'm super happy that I did this exercise because I think this will hopefully keep me from buying at least a few of those little mini palettes, at least for a while, and just use these beautiful shadows I already own, already have, love, love, love so much. I think it'll be interesting. I think I want to report back to you and let you know which one I like used the most or gravitated to the most in the next like month or so. I don't know, just to kind of see, because you can have all these thoughts, and I think there's still usefulness in creating these palettes even if I'm not using them, because it stops me from buying and like purchasing new palettes, but also like lets me live out a bit of a fantasy and enjoy them. But I think it'll be interesting to see what is actually used and get an idea and report back to you. So I think I'll do that, but let's get into a look. I'm gonna do a look with this green one. It's just too pretty not to. Let's do it. All right, guys, let's get started on the look. I'm so excited. I think this is a pretty damn pretty palette, if I do say so myself. So I think first I'm gonna just go in with the Army Matte Green in that outer corner. I'm using like a pinched fluffy brush, but I am gonna just start putting that on the outer corner. Now this is a bit dark, and it's gonna pick up only a little green, which I'm kind of down with. But I'm just focusing that mostly on that outer corner first, and then we can blend up as we go. I'm trying not to do something as blown out. I mean, I say that almost every time, and then y'all know how it goes, so we'll see what actually happens. But yeah, I'm just kind of keeping that a little bit lower. Maybe when I have a little less on the brush, I am just moving it in to blend. Next, I am gonna take some of that light green, yellowish color, and I'm just moving that in a little bit, and this is just helping with blending slightly. So I'm just lightly taking it. I mean, it's already pretty sheer, but I'm just taking that inside and also on the upper edges of where we laid down that first green. And I'm just moving to a smaller blending brush, but I'm continuing to go in with that Army Green. I think next I'm gonna go in with the more sparkly color, so the Clionadh one. I think it's Corrosion. That's gonna be like my whole lid shade. I'm even gonna blend it on to that outer corner a bit, and I'm just tapping it on with my finger. I know a lot of you guys mention you get a lot of fallout, and I normally don't even use glitter glues, and I don't find, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't get a little bit of sparkle fallout, but I really don't feel like I get that much or anything that really bothers me. So I really suggest kind of like taking your time. If you need to, even like tap your finger off and really make sure you're pressing on. And then once you know that there's not like tons of chunks, you can kind of tap out lightly. I don't know how to make sure you are getting a good application where you're not gonna get the fallout, but that's what I do. So, all right, next I'm going to take the light green shade, and I'm just blending right in that upper inner corner over what we just laid down, just kind of, you know, blending, adding a little bit more of this there. It's gonna really tie everything together. Also, I had the tiniest bit of the dark green, so a couple specks got on my look, but we're gonna ignore that. I'm also gonna take a dense domed brush, going back in with that green, and I'm just tapping this on that outer edge just to really bring home the depth out there, and also just add in the green. And I just kind of tap this as well, so we're not doing too much like actual blending. So again, we're not trying to like disturb the sparkle we laid down, maybe just like on that outer edge, but really just tapping. All right, for my brow bone, I wanna go in with the shade here. I don't know if it's gonna be a mistake. I feel like I say that phrase in like every one of my tutorials or demos, but it's always true. I don't know if it's gonna be a mistake. So I'm just taking a little bit of that, and I'm just lightly blending it on. It's definitely colorful. You could always just do like a normal, like lighter shade for your skin tone there. You don't have to do something also duochrome. For the inner corner, I wanna punch in this green. So let's hope that works. I've never used this in any type of way where I wanted it pigmented or anything, so I'm not sure how it's gonna take, but fingers crossed we get something. Yeah, that's nice. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with a gray liner. This one's from Dose of Colors, but any gray or whatever color you really wanna do will work. I'm keeping it to that outer corner. And then I'm gonna use that dark green to blend that out and blend it into the upper part of the lid as well. Last, there's this tiny little gap in between my inner corner and the like lash line color. So I'm going in with the highlight shade, which I think is Chandelier from Clionadh. And I'm just gonna tap that right in between those two. All right, I'm gonna add my mascara and I'll show you guys the final look. I hope I don't have any little hairs. I feel like I always find those later, but okay, I think I got it. But this is the look. It is super green. It's way greener than I thought it was gonna turn out. I thought it was gonna be a little more neutral, but of course I brought it up pretty high because I always do that. I kind of wish I kept it a little bit lower. I could have kept it a little bit more like cat eye. I don't know, but I love it. I still think it's really pretty. I do like it. And I just think this is so pretty. Like, this is just such a pretty little palette. But anyway, that is the look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and creating my little quads with me. I'd love to know, have you picked any of these up? If you have, which ones are really good and maybe are worth the money, or if you know which ones aren't, let us know that also. That'd be amazing. Thank you so much. But other than that, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching. I think this video is going up kind of late, so hey all you night birds, hi. But other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.